Okay, this is the last part of my video lesson for today. And then when you're done with this part of the lesson, when you're finished with everything that I've asked you to do, you're then going to put your papers back in your folder and you're going to walk them over quietly and give them to Mr. Strusma. And everybody's going to kind of finish their writing at a staggered few minutes. I'm going to give you about 15 minutes for the writing, but some of you might finish up quicker than others. If you finish the writing quicker than others, please make sure that you check your draft before you submit it, because this is really your first little piece of writing that you're showing me. So make sure that your capitalization, your punctuation, all of those things are good, that you've written in complete sentences. Okay, so you're going to turn in your packet, and I don't know what page it is. I think it's 554 and 555, but I'm not absolutely sure. It's right in the beginning of your packet, though. It's the launch text that says, "Is it foolish to fear?" And it's only 2 pages long. So the first thing that I want you to do, reading silently on your own, not talking to anybody, this is a complete silent activity. I want you to take your pen or your pencil, and like I said, you may use a highlighter if you have one, but you don't need one, okay? But I want you to take your pen or your pencil, and I want you to read this launch text, okay? Which is an author's opinion about fear. Is it foolish to fear? Yes or no, okay? So as you're reading this text, I want you to do a couple of things. One, I want you to circle any words that you don't know, okay? So you're going to circle any words that you don't know. Two, you're going to underline or highlight something, anything that you find interesting about what the author says about fear. So you're going to underline or highlight anything that you find interesting in that 2-page launch text. Then anything that you find, interesting or you're not sure about, I want you to put an A if you agree with the author, and I want you to put a D if you disagree with the author. Okay, so you're circling any words that you don't know. You're underlining or highlighting sections that you find interesting or kind of caught your attention. You're putting an A if you agree with the author, and you're putting a D if you disagree with the author. Okay, so I'm going to have Mr. Strusma give you about 5 to 7 minutes right now, where you go ahead and quietly do the tasks that I've asked you to do. And then you're going to sit quietly and wait for everybody in the class. And then I'm going to ask you to move on. So I'm going to ask him to pause the video here. So Mr. Strusma, will you please pause for a moment while the students do their work? Thank you. Okay, so now we're back after Mr. Strusma's pause. So the next thing that I want you to do is I want you to turn to the next 2 pages, and you're going to see on one side it says summary, and you're going to see on the other side that it says quick write. Okay, don't do anything yet, just listen to me. All right, so when we summarize something, we are, we're telling somebody just basically just the facts about it. So it says, write a summary of Is It Foolish to Fear? A summary is a concise, complete, and accurate overview of a text. It should not include a statement of your opinion or analysis. You're just telling people what it's about. It's like if you were telling people, if they said, well, what class do you have in 563? You'd say, well, it's Mrs. Wood's American History Literature class. It's for 11th grade. So we're learning about literature through history. There's the summary. You wouldn't give an opinion about if you like me or if you don't like me or if you like the work or you don't like the work, just the facts, okay? When they say the word concise in a summary, it means to the point, which doesn't necessarily mean short. A lot of times people will go short. You don't want to go lengthy in a summary, but you don't want to go too short either. You have to write full sentences and make sense, okay? Concise means to the point. So in this summary, you want to tell a little bit about the beginning, middle, and end of this launch text, the facts about what it's about and what the author believes. So you tell me by telling Mr. Strusma, because I can't hear you. Does the author of this article think it's foolish to fear? Or does the author of this article think it's not foolish to fear? So that's the first thing that you have to figure out. And then you're going to go ahead and write the summary. Okay? Now, the second part that you're going to do is you are going to do the quick write. Okay? Now, the quick write is a little bit different. It says, consider class discussions, the video, me talking, and the launch text, Is It Foolish to Fear? As you think about the prompt, record your first thoughts here. And it says, is fear always a harmful emotion? Now, in this case, it's specifically asking for your opinion. Do you think fear is always a harmful emotion? Yes or no? So when you're writing an opinion, you can't just say yes or no. You have to back it up with detail, either personal detail or textual evidence. But what's better is both. Okay, so you can use textual evidence from the launch text that backs your point, okay, about your yes or no, whatever your decision is. And you can use a personal situation that backs your point. A time when, you were fearful and you shouldn't have been, or a time when you were fearful and you were glad you were. So I'm going to have Mr. Strusma give you about 15 minutes. So figure about 7.5 for each to write a nice, good, clean summary, concise, to the point, punctuation, capitalization, clean writing, easy for me to read. And then the same thing for the quick write. When you are done, you're going to put your papers in your folder. You're going to quietly take your folder to Mr. Strusma, and you're going to wait for everybody to finish. You may listen to your headphones, your music, while you write, as long as you don't disturb anybody else. And you may quietly be on your phone if you finish up before everybody else. But make sure your draft's good, or I'm going to be asking you about it. Now, it's just a short sample, but I'm looking, okay? So go ahead and do that now. I want you guys to have a great day with Mr. Strusma. I'm going to have him show you a little bit about the Salem witch trial after you're done with all of this. Okay? And I'll see you guys next week. Have a good weekend.